good morning guys. I have you here in the kitchen early today because I'm actually quite hungry. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my breakfast, and I am just gonna make some oatmeal. And I wanted to talk to you guys about it because this is a place where if you're trying to eat cheaper, if you were trying to save money, you were trying to watch your health at all, this is a really easy fix, an easy change that you can make for an easy breakfast that won't take you long. It's gonna fill you up and get you started for your day. So what I have in front of me, I just have oats. And I got these at Meijer, which is a grocery store near where I live, but you can find quick oats anywhere. Always get the quick oats, by the way, just instead of the regular ones, get the quick oats. And if you look at the ingredients label on here, the entire ingredients is a 1 grain rolled oats. Excuse me, good Lord. Whole grain rolled oats, okay? That's all that's in there, oats, okay? And then I've got my whole milk over here also, and the ingredient is milk. So what I like to do, I make a bigger serving than what the regular serving size says. So mine's really like 2 servings, okay? So I did a little price comparison to find out how much this is gonna cost us to make some oatmeal from scratch versus buying those little packets, those convenient little packets. So I just went and looked online, and it was actually more surprising than I even thought it was. So broken down, for my 2 servings this morning, I'm gonna take 1 cup of oats. So a serving size is half a cup, but there's 30 servings in here, okay? So I broke that down, and per serving is 16 cents. So we're gonna be 32 cents. 2 servings, right? 32 cents. And and then of course with our milk, I broke that down based on like $3 a gallon, more or less. I don't know what you're paying in your area, but we're gonna use 2 cups of milk to make this. So I broke that down based on a $3 gallon, which means this is 40 cents. So our breakfast here is, what, 76 cents? 72 cents, something like that. So I opened up the interwebs and looked online so I could do a comparison to those convenient little packets that they make. Now the serving size on those packets is the same as a whole, so it's a half cup. So if I were doing it, I'd be eating 2 of them, okay? So I looked first, there was this cute little Quaker Oats serving packets, 8 packets come in the box. And this one was geared towards kids, so it had like little dinosaur egg, sugary things in there. So I didn't write down the whole price. Oh yeah, I did. The box for the 8 servings was $10. So that's $1.25 per serving. So if you're having 2, like me, that's $2.50 that you paid for your breakfast. So, and that doesn't include the milk. So you're spending a lot more money for the convenience. And then not only the convenience, if you're buying one that already has like the sugary stuff in it, I wrote down the ingredients so I could read them to you. Because our breakfast right now, we have oats and we have milk. If you buy the packets with the dinosaur eggs, you have oats, sugar, dextrose, hydrogenated palm kernel oil, annatto for coloring, carnauba wax, confectioner's glaze, maltodextrin, magnesium stearate, modified cornstarch, natural flavor, red radish juice, spirulina extract, sunflower lecithin, which is oil, turmeric, sugar, salt, natural flavoring, calcium carbonate, molasses, carob powder, reduced iron, niacin amate, I don't know, folic acid, I had to turn the page, cholecalciferol, which is vitamin D, peroxidine hydrochloride, riboflavin, thiamine mononitrate, and B vitamins. And those little vitamins that they put at the end is how they say that the food is fortified for you. So that's great, along with all the palm kernel oil, maltodextrin, and sugar, and everything else you're eating. But you get vitamins, so yeah, it's good for you. Anyway, so you're paying, I don't know what, 5 times as much for breakfast, and you're getting a bunch of crap that your body doesn't know what to do with. So then I wanted to be fair, because I'm like, well, you know, maybe the little sugary dinosaur eggs make all the difference, which they do. I found that out. I looked for another packet, and it's Quaker Oats still, and it said maple bacon flavor oats. Okay, that's probably something grown-ups are gonna eat, right? So that one actually was way better. It was oats, sugar, natural flavor, and salt. Well, so that's pretty good. That's better. That's $2.87 per serving. So $5.74 is what you're gonna spend for the convenience, not including the milk. That's what you're gonna spend to do the same thing you can do at home for, what did we say, 70 some cents. So if you're trying to save money, cooking from scratch is really the way to go. It's gonna save you a lot of money. So come with me when we make some oats this morning. I'll show you exactly how easy this is, okay? Super easy. Got my pan, turning my stove on to about medium, okay? Measuring cup. When you're making your own oats, you want a 2-to-1 ratio of liquid to solid, okay? So I like to use 1 cup of oats, like I said, so that's gonna be 2 cups of the milk. And you can also make these oats with water. So if you're lactose intolerant, you don't like milk, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can totally use water. That's even cheaper, right? Then you're literally like 32 cents for breakfast. But so that's, and interestingly enough, that's the same ratio if you're making your own white rice. You want 2 of liquid to 1 of solid, okay? So however much oats you want to put in there, double it for your milk. So I'm going to get the milk in first and get that started heating up. Do that. Rinse that out. Dry it off. Always dry off your measuring cup before you start to measure your dries. You'll appreciate it. All right. And then we're gonna scoop out a cup of oats. And we'll throw that in there. Bam, done. Oats are a really good thing to have on store also in your pantry because they last a really long time. If you know anybody who knows anything about long-term food storage or is interested in long-term food storage, oats are a really good thing to have because they will last a really long time. So, all right, so I just dumped my oats in with my milk. Just gonna stir them in a little bit here. And I'm gonna wait for this whole thing to heat up. So I'm not gonna bore you sitting here staring at a pot of oats waiting for them to boil. So I will bring you back in a minute when we got some heat going and you can see how this kind of changes consistency. Okay, I've had this on the stove for about 4 minutes and I just kind of want to give you an update. You see it's still pretty liquidy, but I don't know if any of the steam will show up on the camera. It's just starting to heat up. So we've got a little bit of steam coming, especially with milk. It's important. You want to stir this every so often. Don't just put it on and leave it and wait for it to be done, okay? So every couple minutes or so, just stir it. And what we're going to be waiting for is we're waiting for this to actually start to boil. So I'll turn this back on and let you know when we start boiling. All right, you see that? We're just starting to boil here a little bit. Now this is important. This is when you're going to want to stay right here and make sure that you're stirring this, especially with milk. You don't want any of that to burn to the bottom, okay? So once you start seeing those little boiling bubbles, I want you to just make sure you're standing right here. And what we're gonna do is this is gonna take about a minute or two and it's gonna boil and then you're gonna see a change in the consistency. So this is where we are right now and it takes about a minute or two of boiling until we kind of get the consistency we want. So I'll turn you back on in a minute here when I've reached the consistency that I'm looking for. All right, my darlings, I think I got this about where I want it. And you can see this is about the consistency that I tend to like. So that looks pretty good to me. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but you see all that steam that's coming off of the pot. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. The steam, all that steam has water in it. So the longer you let something cook, the less water is going to be left in there because it's going to just kind of steam away. So if you put it together and it looks a little bit too soupy for you, just keep it going a little bit longer and it'll eventually kind of render down into something a little bit more solid. All right, so I added a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of maple syrup, and that is how I eat my oatmeal. So that's it, it's done. Okay, so I wanted to make sure I was being really fair with my price comparison and giving you a really true idea of what cost you're actually looking at. So because most people are going to add a little something to your oats, especially butter, I put in maple syrup, you can put in sugar, you can put in honey, you can put in whatever you want, whatever you got on hand that sounds good to you. But I wanted to make sure I try and kind of add in that price too, so that we're looking at the whole meal. How much does that cost? So I figured it out, and a pat of butter, which is like a tablespoon. And if you buy butter in the sticks, it's got the little marker on there, so you can see exactly a tablespoon. That's a tablespoon of butter, that's about 12 cents. And a tablespoon of maple syrup, which is about 50 cents, because maple syrup is expensive. But you could just use a tablespoon of sugar, and that'd be like next to nothing. So whatever you've got handy, whatever you can afford, whatever you put on there. That whole breakfast there is $1.34. So, and I don't know if you can see how well you can see, this is a good sized bowl. So I don't want to spill it out of there, but this is going to fill me up. This is going to keep me going. And yeah, I'm not going to be hungry in the middle of the morning. So I hope you like it. I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you, and I hope you try it, because even if you try it and you muck it up, again, you only wasted what, 32 cents if you screw it up. So try it, and you can really save a lot of money if you just pay attention to making your own food, what's going into your food, and don't be afraid to try. Okay, you can make food happen. All right, you guys have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday. Hey guys, one thing I forgot to mention, I wanted to make sure I threw in there. That was a basic oatmeal recipe, but you can fancy that up any way that you like. A lot of times I throw in raisins. You could throw in a little cinnamon. You could do some diced up apple, cranberry, almonds, whatever you want to try and throw in there to make it a little bit more nutritious. Give it a try. You'll never know until you give it a try. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned, feel free to kind of play around with it. Add in whatever you want to add in. Have a great day.